Yo,
There we go.
what's up?
For sure, man. What's happening? Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
I don't care what they say about the color yellow. You know what I'm saying? It just looks good, baby. It looks good. Look.
Appreciate it.
I want to show you this.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So I'm running for mayor here in Phoenix, Arizona as well.
Word. Oh man, congratulations on the run and good luck.
This election is so important, not just for yourself. I want us to stop thinking about self and think about us all. And my next guest on the show is the epitome of putting out a message for all of us so we can all get out and do our part. Yellopain, what's good, baby?
What's going on?
Look, I wore this shirt specifically because I knew I was talking to you, or I would have worn my own campaign shirt because it would have went with everything more perfect. But since you've gone viral, and by the way, I found out about you through Tech Nine's post, actually. That's the homie right there.
Love when you posted it. I was honored about it. Mm-hmm.
It just takes that one video or that one song to stick. And My Vote Don't Count has just taken your career to a whole nother level. And I want to say thank you for the record. Thank you for the videos, because I know the remix out was 7. But you have really opened up people to where they feel like they do matter again and they gotta vote this election.
Yeah, facts. Most definitely.
What made you feel that you had to put out a record or be a part? Because this has been out since February. Why did you feel so early to get involved in the voting process in 2020?
You know, to be honest, in 2019, late 2019, I had no political background. I didn't even believe in politics whatsoever. I knew nothing about it. My cousin, Desiree Timms, she's running for Congress in the 10th District of Ohio, which is like the Dayton, Ohio area where I'm from.
Yeah.
And she came, she was like, cuz, you got a big platform, you know, because I was like getting views and stuff, you know, before this or whatever. She's like, you got a big platform, a lot of people listening. I think you should make a song about voting. And, you know, I was like, cuz, I love you, you know what I mean? But I don't get into the politics. I'm not in that space, you know. She was like, well, why don't you feel like, you know, your vote matters or voting matters? And I told her, like, I voted for Obama back in 2012. You know, I felt like nothing happened. I was still broke. I was still struggling. My community was still trash. You know, like, what does that really do for us? And that's what a lot of people feel. But she explained to me that it's bigger than just a presidential election, something that I didn't know prior to that. And she was explaining to me about how the Congress works and how the judges work and how everything that goes on in our community is tied, you know, back to voting. And she, you know, she asked me, what would you like to see change? And I was like, well, the potholes in the street is horrible. It's one of the main streets in the city. And, you know, you bumping all the way down the street. They've been working on this. She's like, well, it's an infrastructure bill and a transportation bill that can be passed that can speed this process up, but you just got to have the right person to push for it. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, and, you know, like, it was a moment, a wake-up moment I had. I was like, yo, cuz, so you mean to tell me that everything, you know what I'm saying, can be, or this can be changed if we vote, and this can be changed if we vote? And I was like, it was such a wake-up moment, because it was like, I was upset with myself. Like, why don't I know this? Why am I an adult male that doesn't know this? Why don't my community know this? And I was upset with the educational system. Like, you know, why am I in school and, you know, and they teaching me about all these different things, history, etc. And a lot of stuff that I don't even apply in my everyday life that I learned in school, but something that is so important. They give us a quick summary of it. You know, this is a judicial, legislative, executive, they do this, and then it's over with. And then you don't never hear about it again. Like, and I felt a duty to myself and my community at that point to give everybody that same wake-up moment that I had.
You're right. A lot of the stuff we're taught it in school, but it doesn't seem to apply, or we don't think it applies to us as adults. But in your video, the first video, which of the two versions, I love 7. Like, that's my girl. I felt like the first video, but it had the teachable kind of moment through the classroom that really grabbed my attention off top. And when you say that, you know, they taught us this in middle school, but we weren't listening. And so that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of lessons, though, that were taught in school that we've either forgotten about or that we just weren't listening to, right? And so I think now you're saying as adult males, as adult, anyone watching right now, or anyone that can vote, we have to go back and maybe, I know you don't got those notes anymore, but we got to go back and take that reminder. We got to get that like, wait, I did learn that there are 3 branches, and it is government at the foundation locally is really what impacts us. And that's why I've wanted to run for mayor of Phoenix, because I've always understood that it's the local politics that affects us more than the national politics, everything at the federal level. Yes, it is all important, but like you talking about the potholes, like we talking about infrastructure, like we talking about access to education at the local level. We're talking about family dynamics and programs. When you talk about homelessness, unsheltered people, when we talk about things that the city can do for veterans, when we talk about so many different programs that affect us daily, we have to understand, we got to retrain people. And your video's doing this, your song is doing this, to learn how important the local election is. Man.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm preaching on your interview. My bad, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here like I'm on the campaign trail.
People got to hear this, whether it's for me, you, or somebody else. So
they got to hear it, bro. They got to hear it. Did you already vote already, or are you waiting to get in line the actual day? What? Because I believe in the early voting, man. Whether I'm going to drop it off in person, I just feel like it's on here so they know like it's counted. You feel me?
Yeah, I believe in the early voting, but I didn't vote yet. I voted in the primaries, but I didn't vote yet for this election, because now that, so much was happening with like the song and everything, I really want to make sure I know who I'm voting for, the policies, politicians, judges. I need to make sure I tap into my city where I'm from, which is Dayton, Ohio, and make sure that I'm voting for the right people.
What are things that you're looking for, like in the candidate that you're going to choose to represent you locally and at the national level? What are things that you specifically looking for and that you feel most passionate that anyone watching or listening right now, they should look for in a candidate?
My thing is opportunity. I'm looking for opportunity. And it's a segment in the song, My Vote Don't Count and My Vote Will Count, where I said, imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back, grocery store food better, custody of your kids back, homeless people get new shelters. If we're gonna fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters. Exactly. And the U.S. letters, that's us, got to start with us. And those type of things, opportunity for people without it or with limited opportunity. So, that's the things that I'm most passionate about.
Right. And I'm glad you said it as well, because we do have to look, earlier I said that it's got to be less about the self and about us as a community, what's going to be better. But I do also believe that you have to look at yourself, your family, your situation, and are you better than what you were 2 years ago? Are you better than what you were 4 years ago? And if it doesn't align with what you want for your family and doesn't align with any opportunities for you to grow, because it's the American dream, because we have opportunity to do things that a lot of other countries, a lot of other cities, even in your own states, that you may have locally an opportunity to do and you don't have in other places. And I think you got to realize, and you got to really truthfully think, am I better or am I not? Is this what mainstream is saying? Is this what these right and left? And I'm an independent candidate, and that's the way I look at things on what's best for me and what's best for my family. And I think more people got to realize that as well. Just choose what aligns with you. Not everyone's perfect, because I didn't agree with my parents 100%. And so I think when people are looking to agree with a politician 100%. Well, if you don't even agree with the people that raised you since you were born, in a lot of cases, in most cases, if you don't agree with them 100%, why on earth would you feel that you're going to agree with and, oh, this politician is great. Well, I don't like him because he said one thing. Well, your parents and your friends and your cousins and everybody, they don't agree with you 100% either. Yeah. And I think we're missing out on good opportunities because there might be 1 or 2 things that don't align with you, but nobody's perfect, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely think that people have to assess the full situation, because at the end of the day, I always try to tell people this. Every election, there are people who show up to vote. Every election. And they're making decisions about your life with or without you. And I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the everyday voters that go and show up to vote. You have to understand that if you are not a part of this conversation, you are literally choosing to not have a say in what happens in your community and not happens in your personal life. People are like, "Oh, voting that don't affect my personal life." Yes, it does. You know, you want more money on your check every 2 weeks, but you don't go vote for somebody who might be in favor of higher minimum wage or whatever, you know, might personally affect you. I don't like to get into issues or talking about specific issues because at the end of the day, it's custom to you and what you like or what you're interested in. Find somebody whose interests align the most and won't hurt you and the people that you love and, you know, care for it. And I'm talking about community or family the most, and vote for them. You got to be a part of it.
My girl, one of the hardest lines that she likes out of the whole video, she's like, "That's a bar," is what the woman at the first video was saying at the very end. And you just kind of touched on it. Yeah. Because if you don't show up to vote, somebody's glad you didn't show up to vote. And they'll be happy to make all the decisions for you, man. Who was that? Who was that?
That was Desiree. That was my cousin, Desiree Timms. That's
okay, there you go. There you go. See, if I was out there, I would vote just based on that principle because not everybody's real enough to tell you that.
Yeah.
Your graduation video, like that's God almighty. Like I'm sitting there watching it for the first time. I should have done a reaction video for that. Man. Bro, I don't even know how, if somebody was to say, describe Yellopain's delivery or describe like what he's talking about. And it's just raw, bro. It's just passion. It's like, I'm feeling your emotion through the record, and that's rare, man. And I salute you for that. Was graduation based off your story, or was it what was the inspiration behind that one, man?
Yeah, so it's kind of the inverse, to be honest. I come from, so I got two parents, right? And my mom, she got one of those big hearts. She one of those people. She grew up in a big family, but me, I grew up in a really big family. I'm talking about, we're talking about one house, and it's up to 16 people at once. It's my whole childhood. You know what I mean? And my mom, she worked so hard to spread, my parents worked so hard to spread a little bit of resources through so many people and try to make sure everybody feel that same type of love. And it's hard, it's difficult. We're not talking about no lawyers and doctors. My parents just, did what they could to make shit work. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I also seen a lot of other people in my family, outside of my family, where you have that type of story where you have somebody who is, they have a sibling and that sibling is not getting the same type of love and attention. And I know that it's possible. People say, well, it's hard when you got two kids and you got to love everybody the same. It's not that hard, because I saw my mom spread everything she had across so many people, even outside of her children, people outside of the family, cousins, whatever she could do, to the point where she felt, where I could see it in her eyes that she was just tired and done. But she wanted to make sure everybody felt that same level of love. And that type of passion, the passion for me seeing that and seeing the opposite, I wanted those parents who neglect one child, I wanted them to feel how a kid can feel. I wanted them to feel, them to know because at the end of the day, kids don't have voices a lot of times. You know what I mean? They feel hopeless. They feel like, the parent, it's the end all be, it's the, whatever they say goes. And they never get a chance to, the kids never really get a chance to really express it. So I wanted I made that video specifically for parents. I wanted them to see that video. And when they're watching, once you press play and you're watching it, you can't stop, first off. You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're not, it's straight through.
You can't argue back with the kid. Like, well, no, I'm trying, because it's no kid to argue with. You just only can reflect on yourself like, damn, how do my kids feel about how I'm treating them? And I feel like it was hopefully effective.
Yeah, no, it's definitely effective, bro. And like I say, you're just unique, man. Nobody thinks to do a record addressing that topic, but it's something that like people need to hear. All your kids, they got to get that same love. And like you said, in the neighborhood, moms are showing love out that way. That's a gift from God. God is love, and your mama, that's a gift right there, man. For sure. Well, look, I know we got like a couple minutes left. Just real quick before we jump into the remix to My Vote Will Count with Seven. How'd you link up with Seven?
Man, you know, Seven got an amazing voice, and she's extremely talented. She was already passionate about, you know, change in the community with, you know, this year being one of the craziest years we had in a long time with riots and protests. And she was active. She was, you know, let her voice be heard just, you know, on that tip. And you know, voting is kind of the answer to a lot of the, you know, the problems being solved in the actual justice system. So it was just a no-brainer that, you know, Seven would be like the perfect person for that record.
We only got a platform for so long, man. I know you do the inspirational videos as well. If there is one or two messages or key pieces of advice you want to give people to be the best they can be, whether it's to go out and vote, whether it's personally, career-wise, give it to them right now.
I would try to tell people is don't make this about you. And I'm not just talking about the election, but even with the election, you have to keep your community and your family and people in mind, as more specifically with voting. Your children and your children's lives are affected by the decisions that you make today and tomorrow. So make sure that you're moving with other people in mind, because everybody has a potential to impact somebody's life and change the world.
Say no more, baby. Say no more. Say no more. Yellopain, I'm gonna get your info. I already follow you on Instagram. I've been following since Tech put that video out. But I'm going to send you the shirt if you don't mind. And you got to send me one of them Yellopain shirts back.
You already know. I got you. I appreciate you, too. That's love on the shirt.
Hey, for sure, man. Thank you so much, Yellopain.
You already know. Good luck on everything.
Already, man. Thank you.